Usain Bolt loses in his last 100-meter race. Ooh, there was a lot of internet reaction. I didn't really grab any of those tweets. The consensus was like it was a farewell race. You know, he probably would have been better for him if he won, but like in the end, like nobody's gonna remember Usain Bolt's like last IAFF like world championship race. They're gonna remember him for, and I'm actually gonna skip to the last element of the D elements, D number 12. As you can see here, he lost to Justin Gatlin, who is a USA runner, and was suspended and banned from games from like 2001 and 2006 for PED testing, turning out positive and banned substance. So it's not really a true champion winner. This is what people are going to remember, precisely what Usain Bolt did in his career as a runner. It's just a whole bunch of gold medals.
Yeah.
Gold in everything. The Olympics, he did the trifecta in the Olympics, which no one ever done before in the 100 and the 200. The 2008 one was disqualified because one of his teammates was tested positive for a banned substance. The World Championships, like, come on, the guy didn't have competition. He was putting his hands down.
Yeah, it's both the quantity of the gold medals is what catapults him to the top of the list as the fastest and greatest runner I think we've ever seen. But it was the style that he was able to carry himself with as well. You know, like I remember watching his very first race back, and I'm positive that one, he's a smart businessman because apparently there's rumors that you get bonuses every time you break a world record.
Yes.
So if you're going to break the world record, then and you know you're going to keep doing it, you just slow down for the last couple of steps and just be like, I'm going to jog backwards because I know I'll be able to beat this and get a bonus in the next couple of weeks or whatever.
It turned into one of the best memes of the Olympics too in 2014 was the smiling at the camera during the 100-meter race, a race where you have no time for error. He was able to really bend the space-time continuum in terms of running. And we always say, are we going to see another runner like this? Are we going to see another athlete like this? The thing that I think makes Usain Bolt stand out so much in general was his attitude towards it. You wanted to be him because he always seemed to be the guy having the most fun, and he was also the best. And it wasn't necessarily bragging or anything like that. He was going to beat you, and there wasn't much that even drugs could do to help you beat him. Yeah, it always turns out like there's somebody who's like, you were on steroids and you still couldn't beat him.
He always held himself with a sense of professionalism, even though he probably had the leeway to be as cocky as he wanted. He was cocky and confident, but in a way that wasn't distasteful.
Charismatic.
Yeah, he was very charismatic, and I mean, he made people want to watch athletics in a world that is that's basically that realm is drowned underneath NFL and NBA and everything else, and world football, of course. He made it the focus point of the Olympics. Like, people always want to watch the Olympics, I get that, but you can't say that there wasn't a lot of people that weren't fans of the Olympics that were drawn in because of Usain Bolt, drawn in to watch that 100-meter sprint and watch him perform, because you're absolutely right with the style and the grace that he was able to do it. Like, you watch him and you're trying to figure out mechanically how that body works. Like, he's what, 6'5" or something like that? He's huge.
Tall, he's like, and
he's these huge strides, just remarkable overall. He's in that list that we always talk about it, the transcendent athletes that take the sport and just take it to the next level. You have Tiger Woods for golf, Michael Jordan, LeBron James are all in that, in basketball. World football, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, even guys like back in the day, George Best, whoever else, Ronaldinho. And he's the one name that just comes to everyone's head when you talk about running. Even though there has been plenty of other athletes, don't want to discredit them, he's the name that comes to your head.
He also did it for enough time that if you were like 4 or 5 years old in 2008, well, then you still were able to
see him in 2016.
You still remember 8 years later, and that's a long time. A lot of Olympic athletes don't really span more than the 4 years. You have like the first one, the 2012 and 2016, a lot retire. Some do go on to be in 4 or 5 Olympiads, just like there's players who go on to be in 5 World Cups.
Yeah.
And it's remarkable when you see that you can play at that level for so long. It's 20 years you're talking about. For the Olympics, you know, Michael Phelps, I don't know if he officially retired from swimming. He might be back at the 2018.
Another athlete that's right there on the same
Olympics. But the crazy thing is, a lot of the criticism for Usain Bolt at this point is like the people who are a little upset were they saw the final standings, and it does look weird because Usain Bolt's been at the top of every single leaderboard for every race he's done, except for like qualifying, because you don't have to finish in first for qualifying. And in that sense, element number 10 has the stand and just doesn't look right. No. Besides the fact that he was 0.03 from beating Justin Gatlin. And again, Gatlin is not. He's a remarkable athlete. Yes, one of the most talented runners in the world. Yes, did he cheat? Of course, and that's what kind of taints this standings. But
I think people booing like Gatlin and Coleman as if to say like you should have let him win. That's absolutely ridiculous. Like to boo them, whatever. I think it's a little harsh. I think everyone's gone into that race to win. Like they're not in this race just to give Usain Bolt a send off.
If you race against the guy, the number one thing you want to do is not bow down to him. I mean, even though Gatlin did afterwards, the one thing you've been wanting to do for the last 8 years is beat him.
Yeah.
Maybe more, 10 years.
I mean, it does leave that.
Yeah,
obviously, everyone wants to see him go out on a victory. Like, there's nothing more memorable than we're all so thankful that Kobe Bryant went out on 60 points and not the bricks that he was
torn
hitting.
Achilles for the entire season before that.
Happened before. So it's good to go out that way. But I don't think Usain Bolt. I think he's probably glad it goes out this way because he gave everything he had, and it showed that it probably is the right time. You know, like he probably can't go on anymore, like at that same level. And the sport's gonna miss him, big time.
I agree. Comment below. We got 2 more stories for you, so I'm not even sure when I'm putting this one up, but we'll be back soon with some more.